Leave it. Can you take that? It's too short. Okay. Can you hear? All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Morning. Well, it's good to be back. I see many friends, many familiar faces here. That's great. I'm here to talk about the open source geospatial community. 10 years of community fun, and it really has been a great 10 years for the community. One of my favorite pictures, I think I've used that picture in a presentation here before, from one of my many visits, so 2008. This is my flight here. So this is just a picture of on the back of the monitor on the back of the chair during my flight. So you can see I took this when I was about halfway. So this is a new flight, direct flight from Toronto. You can't see, but where I flew from is not even on the map. I'm on the east coast of Canada. So I flew from Halifax to Toronto, and then a new direct flight to Haneda. Before I would have to fly Halifax, Toronto, Vancouver, Narita, Osaka. So yes, long flight, 12 hours. That flight, just that flight is 12 hours. And Halifax is 12 hours behind in time, exactly 12 hours. So very easy, or hard, however you want to look at it. And this slide also, this picture, I think I took this picture for one of my presentations here. And I've used this picture in almost every presentation since. But so this is not, this is me taking this picture, and this is my area where I'm from in Canada. So yeah, it doesn't look like this all the time, as I'll show you, but this area of Canada is, like I said, on the far east side of the Atlantic Ocean. And my area is a UNESCO World, small town of 2,000 people, Lunenburg. And it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for shipbuilding. For building ships by hand, old wooden ships. The major employment in the area is fishing, obviously, and specifically lobster fishing. Lobster. And this is the view. You might feel sorry for me, but not really though. This is my view. This is my office view. I'm not kidding. This is so in my house I turn my shoulders and look out the window, and this is my house. So about 6 years ago I moved from Toronto, Ottawa, downtown craziness to the east for the view. I moved for the view. Yeah. Not for the jobs, for the view. So same view, not now, but snow is coming. The snow will come. This is booked from last year. But honestly, it's very rarely is it sunny. Most time it's foggy. And much worse than this, every day the foghorn goes off in the morning, like every 15 seconds, very loud. When I have visitors, they cannot sleep at night because there's a foghorn to warn the ships coming of danger. And most times I can't see the flag. There's a little Canadian flag there. So fog is so thick I can't see the ocean. Yeah. And I would say that's foggy 80% of the time. 80% of the days. Some of you have seen me talk about what I do for fun there is, in this house I actually heat it by firewood. In Canada, we have lots of trees, so in this summer I got some more wood, but a friend of mine said, oh, I want some wood too. So he rented a big truck, and came and we loaded the truck up, a huge truck with firewood, and he drove that across the province. Yeah, so that's just a funny story. So who am I? Many of you know who I am. I'm the president of OSGeo, the Open Source Geospatial Foundation. I was named the president in 2012, so I guess it's been a couple years now that I've been president. I am a member of the Map Server Steering Committee, so that means I help out with making decisions on what goes into the software or not, major decisions. I call myself a member of the FOSS4G family. With Venka and Marcus and others, I was part of that crew that met 10 years ago here and discussed of creating a global FOSS4G event. I put money on the table through a consulting company. I do work for MapServer. But who am I really? I'm a geographer. I'm trained in geography. I wouldn't call myself a computer science developer. I call myself a geographer. So I'm very familiar with data, geographic data, projections, the bad word. Frequent traveler, of course. You could see that in my past, I used to work, well, I went to school for civil engineering. I was in registered nursing, if you can believe that. I played 1 year of professional ice hockey, it's true. And 3 years my job was a forest fire ranger. So this means I jumped out of a helicopter and put out fires, forest fires in Canada. I come from a big family. You can see my talk has very little to do with open source. No, I'm kidding. But I do come from a big family. My middle brother played ice hockey professionally all over the world, including, as you can see, in an Asian league. So this is my brother here. Well, it's all my brother, but my brother Steve, middle brother. He's over 2 meters. So he's tall, 6'8". 6'8". I don't know what that translates, but he's a big man. And he played in Korea. Higo, what do you know? I asked you before. Yeah, he played in Gangwon-land, yes, which is a sort of a resort, I think, like a...
Yes, it's casino resort.
Yeah.
The 2018, the Winter Olympic was there.
At where he played?
Yes, yes.
So he played in a league. His team was in South Korea, and you can see that there was at that time there were some professional Japan teams that he played. And he also played. I was telling the Italians that he also played in Italy for 4 or 5 years. So back to me. How did I get it here? So this is a cute slide. So in 2003, over chicken wings and beer, I proposed to my boss at the time. Some of you will know, and he was in a picture of Venka's, Dave McElhaga from DM Solutions Group. DM Solutions Group is where I worked out of university, and who were one of the original developers of MapServer. So I sat down over chicken wings and beer in 2003 and said to Dave, I've heard of this FOSS4G event in Bangkok. I want to go, and I'm willing to pay my way. I can remember saying that. I haven't changed any, it's always concerned about funding there, I guess. But I did say to Dave, I'm going to go, and I'm willing to take a week off work and pay to go. And really that was the change in my whole career. I'm glad. It's one of the most important trips I've ever made. And that point there is true. In 2004, I would meet Venka and Marcus in Osaka. I can remember there was a typhoon when I got off the last train. I didn't know what a typhoon was, honestly. But I hopped on a bullet train, Shinkansen, from Tokyo to Osaka, not knowing what's happening. And I got off the train into extreme winds, a typhoon, and they had canceled all of the rest of the trains that day, right? Yeah, so, but thank you to Morrison and Venka and Marcus for making all that happen, because that was a very important trip. that is when we talked about creating a global FOSS4G by joining the GRASS community with the map server community. Because at the time, map server had a, what did we call it? Map server users meeting. MUMs, we called them MUM, map server user meeting. And so we decided to get rid of the MUMs and join that into FOSS4G with the GRASS community, and well, every community. And look where we've come today. So I have many slides here, but some of them are very similar to Vanka's. Yes, same picture. So this is Bangkok. Dave McElhaga, who was my boss at the time, sitting to my right there. So he owes a lot. I owe a lot of thanks to Dave for making this happen as well as Morrison. Vanka, you can see Jim Westerveld. Jim Westerveld on the far right there, beside Marcus. He was one of the original developers of GRASS. Yeah, so great picture. So why are we here? We're here for community. I don't need to explain what community is, but it's very special and very important to me. Current needs of the community, affordable solutions, standards, professional support, data access, stability. These are all things everyone in this room knows is important. And why has open source geospatial become so popular? Well, easily accessible story. The big one is actually stability. That's really what's changed in the last 10 years. I'm in the map server community, so I can see the difference. I can really see stability means that there's a strong community there. There's also professional support, so companies offering help. So that's what stability is, where you see not only the community, but then you see a professional support side as well. And so, yeah, we all know why open source geospatial is so popular. As you know, there's a strong link between open source and standards. You can see this slide explains how GRASS Foundation sort of evolved into what is now the OGC. And if you haven't watched the Captain Kirk video where he narrates the GRASS video, you should someday. It's very funny. So I just want to talk quickly about the Open Source Geospatial Foundation, just very fast. It's a nonprofit organization. So I'm the president. We have no staff, meaning that we have no paid staff. We're all volunteers. Yeah. Mission statement to develop and support the open source geospatial software community. We have several sponsors located all around the world. There's different ways to sponsor the foundation. You can actually sponsor projects directly, and one of the most successful projects obviously is Quantum GIS. And you can see that Asia is one of the major sponsors, Asia Air Survey. This is always changing. I guess this would have been, I would have put this together a few months ago, so it might be updated. But yeah, there's several ways to sponsor OSGeo. Just quickly on the structure, I won't go through it, but the important thing is in the bottom left there is that we're based on 244 charter members. And we had an election last month, where we added about 64 new members. And I think we have some new members here, including our two visitors from Italy, and several OSGeo Japan new charter members also. So that's great. I won't go through all the projects, but we have several projects, libraries, metadata catalogs. And we also have projects that are about to enter the OSGeo umbrella. So we have some very innovative projects, including Zoo Project, many people are familiar with, PyCSW. So that's a catalog service based on Python. RASDemand, which is very popular, it is a sort of a big data solution based on PostgreSQL, I think. So this is a very important slide because this is, and this is new growth, new projects coming into the foundation. So, yeah. Like I said, those incubation, those projects will be reviewed before they are accepted, and they are based on several requirements. Local chapters is why I'm here. I'm here because of the OSGeo Japan chapter, so I don't need to tell you how important the chapters are to the foundation. A lot of the hard work happens at the chapter level, as we all know. And I was here last year. You can see some FOSS4G Kansai shirt in the bottom right. This is just to show you sort of a glimpse of the community. It's always hard to say how many members we have, but we do have about, 25,000 registered people on the mailing list. Those are unique registrants. I get an email once a month with those stats. And then we also have many active mailing lists. And that's just, that number's on the right there, those are members. You can see that the Quantum GIS user list has the most members, so to speak. Many of you are familiar with OSGeo Live, so this is the installer that it's based on Ubuntu. It's a wonderful product for OSGeo. I do want to quickly mention this labs network. So this is an educational research network. It's sort of set up a couple years ago. So these are university researchers who are connecting through this network. If you're not familiar with it and you are a university researcher, I recommend you check out geoforall.org. There's about 90 labs now. So these are universities all around the world that sort of promote themselves as supporting open source geospatial. So like I said, this network is only about 2 years old, and it's really something. So I have a whole bunch of slides of just random pictures, and Venk already mentioned 2004 event. In 2004, we had a small little event in Ottawa, and there was about 120 people, and we called it the Open Source GIS Conference. I just sort of picked a few events, and this is also an important event. This was Cape Town. I was in 2008. I was here for Tokyo and Osaka. I've used that picture many times. I think that's me having sushi in Tokyo. Yeah. A not so professional picture, but this is after FOSS4G Sydney, another great event. Denver, wonderful event. There was a local chapter had an event in Buenos Aires last year. I actually attended, and that was their first ever event. And I bet you there was 200 people there, so which is wonderful. FOSS4G CEE, which is now Europe. I attended in Bucharest, so that's myself with Marcus. It's a great picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. On the left there would be Vasil, who is the chair of the OSGeo Romania chapter. There was an event last year in Nottingham. One of my favorite events was this year in Bremen, Germany. One of my favorite pictures, it's very dark, you can't see, but Venk is in there, I'm in there, Gerald, some OSGeo people. Max is in the back, his face is dark there. Anyway, great picture. This year was FOSS4G Portland. Was a great event. I think there was 870 people, something like that, almost 900 people. Great event.
87.
How much?
870.
870. Wow. So FOSS4G is getting pretty big. So each year now we average about 800, 900, and when we put out a call for proposals, we sort of mention that you should expect around 1,000 people. That's a lot of people. Good picture. This is just the grass code spring. So great picture there. Luca, OSGeo Czech people. Great picture. So I should mention that FOSS4G Europe is going to be in Como, Italy. So that's in July. If you can try to make it there, that will be wonderful. Venka already mentioned FOSS4G Seoul. Again, that will be a great event. I should mention that OSGeo each year we award, we give an award for leadership in the community. This year's award went to Quantum GIS founder Gary Sherman, who's not pictured here. This past summer, we participated in the Google Summer of Code, and we had 23 students from around the world. So we basically funded 23 students to work on OSGeo projects for the summer. So thank you to everyone who organized that, including Ann Gilsla. Works very hard to manage that. And you can see the projects that were worked on this summer. Whenever I get up now, I always thank the private companies that base their work on supporting and developing the projects, and they are very important. So these are companies, small and large, and I don't go out to mention them by name, because if I mention one company, then I should mention all the companies, but I like to thank them. And OSGeo is always working with other communities. We recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the ISPRS community, and help me out here, that stands for International Society of Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing. And we're working with other foundations. This past July, I went to an event called Africa Geo, and on the left there is the International Cartographic Association president. On the right is the ISPRS president, and we talked about partnerships. So I'm almost done, but I have a few slides. They're very similar to Venka's, and I want to point out a few things that has happened through OSGeo Japan. And Venka mentioned it, how in 2010 there was a collaboration between many local universities and myself. I'm in the bottom right there. And out of that came several enhancements to OSGeo 4W, and that was very fun to be here. Great time. I think it was here 3 or 4 months. I lived in the guest house. It was wonderful memories, and a lot of great things came out of that. I found this. I don't know how I still had this, but this was like the project plan. It was the whiteboard at the beginning so you can see Jeff Tass, I actually said, and then
Nice.
Harumi, oh, okay, Yoshida, that's what that is. Oh, okay. Yeah, did Yoshida do his work? I don't know. Where is he? No, I'm kidding. Oh, I can see Yuka, Harumi, oh, great. I don't know how I kept that, or why I kept that. I don't even know if we used it. Anyway, great. And Venka mentioned that out of that, it was an international interface, right? So, and also we enhanced it to sort of advance, we did something else too. Not only internationalization, but it was an express install and an advanced, and I think we made several changes to that. Yeah. So, and it's still available, it's great changes. Funny screen grab, Venka, you had the same screenshot as me, I don't know how. Anyway, so not that project, this is 2004, thanks to Orkney. Morrison, yes. So before this project, thank you to Orkney, there was no international character support in MapServer. I believe there was nothing. I believe there was no way to show Japanese characters, labels in maps. So that's wonderful. So my little story, I'm taking up too much time, but my little story, I don't know if you can see this, but 2 days ago, as I'm getting ready to come, I'm working on the workshop. And I thought, oh, I better try that same tutorial with MapServer 7. MapServer 7 hasn't been released, so this is the master, the GitHub version, right? So I tried it, and again, it crashes MapServer. The Japanese characters crashed MapServer. And I thought, oh, this is terrible. It was the night before. It was at 8 p.m. or something, and I leave at 6 a.m. And I thought, it breaks. I can't show any labels in the workshop? This is terrible. So I filed a ticket. This would have been like Friday night or something, I don't know. I filed a ticket on Friday night. See, it says opened issue 2 days ago, yeah. So display of Japanese characters, anyway, it works in Math Server 6, crashes Math Server 7. I thought that was it. Honestly, I was really upset. No, who's gonna fix this? I leave at 6 a.m. Who would fix it? Well, someone fixed it. 1 hour later, you know Evan Renault from France? He does a lot of development for GDAL, and he fixed it within 1 hour. And I couldn't believe it, and then verified, and I checked it, and it actually broke. It broke. It wasn't just Windows. It was Unix, also Linux. So anyway, it's fixed, and we'll use it in the workshop. So that's great. And just I've had some great memories here. The pictures I couldn't even. We would fill in hours of all the. So I've just had a great time over the 10 years. Thank you to the OSGeo Japan local chapter, everyone here, all my friends in Japan. It's been a wonderful 10 years, and I hope to have, and we will have another great 10 years. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you.
All right. J. McKenna さん、どうもありがとうございました。
Any questions?